Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Glory Glory Man United podcast. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back to the show, Brush. Happy New Year, mate.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Carl. Hopefully this year goes better than the last for United
Yeah,
at least.
I think in 2024 we won the FA Cup, so that was something to celebrate at least. But
Yeah.
2025 was a disaster all in. Uh,
hmm
Um, Amram's record is pretty poor. We lost the Europa League final, and there's been a few embarrassing results. And we finished 2025 with probably the most embarrassing result, given Wolves' position and points total. Only 2 points so far. Well, prior to the game the other day, and I have three. Um, but if it, we can caveat that result by saying that Wolves have only been losing narrowly to teams like Liverpool and Arsenal.
hmm
They got a point at Spurs. So they're not been getting hammered in many games, other than for example, the United game at Molineux. But that result maybe made us think that we should be beating them comfortably at home. But I was getting less and less confident about it the more injuries we were picking up. Because let's face it, we're missing 8 players, and the vast majority of our creativity was missing. No Mount, Ahmad, Mbumo, Bruno, Menu. The only creative player we had on the pitch was Kuna. He had a very poor night, I felt. So United could have won the game and could have lost it. But all in all, an embarrassing result against one of the worst teams in Premier League history.
Absolutely. Absolutely disgraceful to drop points to them, especially because it doesn't mean anything either. We know they're going down. They're getting relegated. So absolutely 2 points dropped for me. You are right though. Against Liverpool as well, they're pretty unfortunate not to get a draw. So they have been losing narrowly. I don't know if we were lured into a false sense of security by our 4-1 win earlier in the month. But yeah, like you say, the squad's been depleted via injuries and international competition. I was looking on that bench, and our most senior option on the bench was Lenny Euro, who's 20 years old, which says it all, really, doesn't it? Also, I'm sure you paid attention to the Newcastle game, Carl, and you saw the change in formation. And I don't know about you, but there was a lot of reports coming out before the Wolves game that the penny's finally dropped. He's gone to a back four, and I'm expecting to see Dorgu on the right wing, and some remnants of a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. But as soon as the game started, you could see he had reverted back to what he usually does.
Yeah, it seems as if he wanted to match Wolves' formation. I don't understand that at all. And
Which is
um,
insane.
was he? Yeah, yeah. Why were we showing them so much respect? I mean, look who we're playing against.
We're at home. We're at home, and they're the bottom team. Why are we going like for like with Wolves?
I know. I just didn't understand why he went back to the old formation.
hmm
And it just didn't work, especially given the players that were missing.
Yeah,
And what was even more baffling is that he took off the goal scorer at half time and brought on an extra midfielder.
yeah, yeah.
What was the
It
logic
didn't make
behind that?
sense. It didn't make sense, and now you're throwing the kids in. Like we need experience. I didn't understand. Sheshko, I thought was quite unfortunate. I just he just can't catch a break, the kid. The thunderous header, coming off the bar. I thought he did really well to reach it. To be fair, good reach, and that I think in time those will convert to goals. Um, I was a bit concerned though that we played nothing to his feet. Everything was in the air for him to try and pluck out.
Um, he's been unlucky lately with the efforts that have been hitting the woodwork, but there's some
Yep.
other chances that he should have scored. Like
Yeah,
for
gilt edge
example,
chances.
like the header that was straight at the keeper in the
Yeah,
Wolves game.
yeah.
Yeah, there's been other chances lately which
hmm
he should have buried as well. Um, yeah, so he's been a mixture of unlucky and just poor finishing as well. And
hmm
he's a man in bad need of a goal. I
He
mean,
really does.
it's just
I think that pressure builds as well when it doesn't come, doesn't it? So it doesn't help. Um, yeah.
yeah. I just want to make a point, and it might be a controversial one. Now, we brought in Shesko to essentially replace Holland, and he was shipped out to Napoli, and that's going to be a
Yep.
permanent move now, according
Yep.
to Fabrizio Romano. And he
hmm
scored, I think, 9 goals so far for
Yep.
Napoli. Um, I think that if Holland had been retained and we bought Chesko, that
Mm.
it would have benefited both of them. Because when one's not firing, the other one can come in and take his place, either in the starting lineup or as a substitute.
We
Yeah,
don't
and
have a like for like sub to come on, do we? So that's definitely an issue. But under this manager, Carl, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure what striker can come in and succeed. To be honest.
yeah, I do think we have an issue with our number tens being selfish,
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
particularly Kuna.
Cunha comes to mind.
Um, yeah, probably less so Mbumo,
Yeah.
but Kuna, I
Now
think.
Cunha, I don't know, man. I think he suffers from like main character syndrome.
Mm,
He has to be that guy. And but this isn't Wolves, you know. And if you do go on them individual runs, you have to damn well make sure you finish.
I love when he goes on an individual run and he
But
carries the ball in.
it's but the decision making at the end of it
Yeah,
though, Carl, that's my issue. Yeah, those marauding runs are great.
yeah. There was one I can't remember some of the games just kind of
Yeah,
morph into one,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
over Christmas. I can't remember which game it was, but he went on this marauding run and
yeah,
he got into the edge of the opponent's box,
yeah.
and there was a red shirt free on the left hand side, and rather than picking him
Mm-hmm.
out, he went for the shot himself and he scuffed it, and that really pissed me off. I
Yeah, it's
just didn't
crazy,
get
isn't
that
it?
at all. Yeah,
Yeah, and then if you just do the simple pass, it's a tap in, it's a goal. You know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
the
think it was the
one the
Newcastle
one
game.
thing I will say though, they've definitely improved the goal scoring side of things, but the amount we've let in is atrocious. I don't think any other side in the top 10 have let in as many goals as we have.
Mhm. Yeah, if you compare to last season, we're
Yeah,
scoring way more goals, but we're
yeah,
conceding more as well.
yeah. We're
And
conceding a ton of goals. It's made it redundant. Actually, it's made the goal scoring redundant.
yeah, although as it stands, we're still sixth rather than 15th.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I suppose that is an improvement. Um, but
And
it's
you know what? That
still,
just
no
pisses
matter
me
how
off
high
even
we are
more,
in the
Carl.
table.
Like every time we have the chance to capitalize, mate, we just drop points. When anybody around us drop points, we drop points as well. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I think is that since the 3 game winning run, is that
Hmm.
what have we had since then? 4 wins in 10 or something?
Yeah.
It's,
So let's see. In
yeah,
the last five, we've got two wins. Two wins in the last five, two draws and a defeat. It's not good enough.
no, definitely not. And our home form is really suffering at the moment.
Yeah.
We're, you know, at the start of the season, it was beginning to look like Fortress Old Trafford, and we're struggling away from
Hmm.
home. Now it's almost reversed.
Yeah.
We're, yeah, and do you know what it is? And we've had this problem for many years now. When the onus is on us to dominate possession and break
Yeah.
teams down, we
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
We're most
Yeah,
comfortable when we're
at
counter
times
attacking.
at times I felt we let them have the ball too much. In the end, there was like 56% possession for us, but you got to do stuff with it. The quality of the chances created as well. Oh, I mean, we were quite fortunate with our goal, to be honest. Like it took a crazy deflection. But the only player that stood out to me was probably young Aiden Heaven. Shout out to him. I thought he did very well.
Yeah, he's had the last 3 matches from him have been very good, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. So he stepped up, and I felt like Lenny Euro needed a break as well because it was getting a bit too much for him, especially the way he got ran ragged against Aston Villa.
Um, yeah, he needed taken out of the firing line.
Yeah.
So I just want to come to what you mentioned earlier about Dorgu, who was a
Mm,
surprise selection at right wing against Newcastle. And the
hmm.
first 45 minutes, he was electric, and he scored
Yeah,
an outstanding goal. So I
that was
thought,
incredible.
given that Mambumo and Ahmad are still out, let's play him on the right wing again. But no,
Hmm.
Amram brings him back to left wing back, and he's ineffective again. What is going on there?
Yeah, I don't understand. I absolutely don't understand. We know he's a versatile player. Funny enough, the first game I saw for Valencia, he played on the right wing. Um, and yeah, I thought, considering all the absentees we have, I thought, yeah, he's going to go to a flat back four. The penny's finally dropped, and then hey presto, here we are, three at the back, back to wing backs. It's just nonsense, absolute nonsense. Just a total inability to adapt to any situation. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, and his subs make no sense, and his
Yeah.
subs are often
Oh,
defensive as well.
oh, Kyle, mate, listen. We're 1-1, yeah, with Wolves at home, 75th minute. We look over to the bench. Who do I see warming up? Lenny Euro. That's just what we need. And you were in the stadium for it, weren't you? So, yeah, what were the crowd saying? How did they feel about that? Just seeing defenders. Come on.
Uh, so he
Can
made
you
another
repeat
substitution.
what was said?
I will, but I hope the children aren't listening.
Yeah.
Um, so there was another sub made at the same time as Lenny
Mm.
Yarrow for Aiden Heaven. Uh, what was it? I think it was Benito Mentato coming on for his
Oh, yes.
debut.
Poor kid, man. He was thrown in at the deep end. He had one atrocious cross. He's just not ready.
Who, who did he come on for again? Um, was it Dorgu? Oh, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look it
Let
up.
me check. Yeah, check.
There was a double sub at the same time. I don't know why he didn't bring on Shea Lacey, by the way. He
Hmm.
was prepared to bring him on against Villa. I thought this Wolves game was crying out for him. We needed a winger on the pitch.
Yeah.
Um,
He came on for Ugarte.
so Benito Mentato was on for Mike Ugarte. Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, yeah. 75th minute
Um,
for Ugarte.
right. So when I think Yarrow for Haven
Yeah,
was the first one that was made.
yeah,
And
yeah.
whenever it was announced by the stadium announcer, the guy in front of me just goes, "Fuck off, Amram. Fuck off."
No, honestly, I couldn't believe it when I was just seeing Lenny step up. I was just like, oh, jeez, why? And then, yeah, like we were saying earlier, I was just befuddled at half time why you would take off Xerxes, who's a big presence, who's a physical presence. Against a team like Wolves, it's hard to break down sometimes. They're going to be compact. They've not been losing by large margins. Why wouldn't you want a guy like that can cause problems on the pitch? I don't understand.
Yeah, and yeah, going into the game with our mounting injury list and absentees due to
Hmm.
international duty, and Wolves, I felt under Rob Edwards, were starting to get more organised in
Hmm.
defence and harder to break down. And
Yeah,
so that really, our lack of creativity really concerned me going into the match,
yeah.
and my worst fears were realised, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, it was a horrible night, and I just as soon as they equalised from that set piece, I just
Yeah,
had a bad feeling that it wasn't going to go our way. Now we had a brief few seconds where we thought we'd got a late winner with
yeah,
Dorgu scoring that
yeah,
rebound, but it was offside, and it took about 5 minutes
yeah.
to decide that it was offside.
Yeah,
But
yeah, very
um,
unlucky. He could have timed that better. I know he's young and that, but he really should have been onside for that one.
yeah,
Also,
but
shout
had
out to
he,
Lemens as
he's
well, because if not for Lemens, we could
oh
have lost that game.
yeah, I'm going to get to that shortly. Yeah, but if Dorgu had stayed onside, would he have got there first though? Because he just about got there before the defender. So that's
Yeah, there is an argument for that.
um, yeah, it's so heartbreaking that we were all cheering, thinking we'd got a late winner, and the
Yep,
guy beside me started to put his head in his hands, and I was thinking,
yep,
What's wrong?" And then looked, and he goes offside, and then I seen the
yeah,
flag.
yeah,
That's devastating.
yeah,
When
yeah,
you
yeah.
when
Especially
you go
late
to a
on.
game,
Hmm.
you pay all that money. It's a drab draw, horrible
Yep,
performance against one of the worst teams in
yep.
Premier League history.
Hmm.
You think you've got a late winner, and then is ruled out. It's just so deflating.
Yeah, and for me, I was hoping this would be the game that Cunha stepped
And
up as well.
yeah,
No
and I
better
have to
opportunity than
mention,
against your former club at home.
I thought he started the game well, but he was
Hmm.
after about 20 minutes he done nothing.
What missing?
Uh,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
it was an absolutely
yeah.
anonymous performance.
And this is really
Um,
the time for him
I
to
have
step
to
up. I
mention,
thought.
uh, yeah, with all the absentees, we're kind of relying on
Yeah.
him, and he's not doing it.
Hmm. And he's
So
not doing it.
I have I have to mention Diogo Dallo.
Ah,
What the hell was that?
yeah.
So there was a defensive mix-up where Wolves defender tries to head it back to his own keeper. He gets
Hmm.
it all wrong, heads it past the keeper,
Hmm.
and and the keeper has to run back and scoop it off the line. And rather than ch- chasing it up and making sure the ball goes over the line, he starts celebrating by the penalty spot, hoping that it's going to go in. No,
Yeah,
mate,
it's crazy.
you chase after, you attack the ball and make sure it goes in.
You
What
make
the hell
sure,
are you doing?
you make sure, and then Jose Sá with an unbelievable save to
And
deny him a Roy
and even
Carroll
if
type situation.
even if Saad gets there first, Dallo could have been there for the rebound, but he wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The game awareness is totally lacking there, isn't it? You have to be alert to these things. You can never
And
take anything for granted.
it reminded me of the time. I know it's a slightly different incident, but it
Hmm.
shows it's the IQ of Dallo,
Yeah.
where Brendan Johnson, who scored a tap in for Spurs against us at Old Trafford,
Mm.
Dallo was already apologising for not picking up his run before the ball hit the
Mm.
net. Before the
Hmm.
ball even hit the net, he was apologising. How about you
Yeah.
just track the run, mate? Do your job. I know I'm shouting all
Yeah.
over the place here. People in the next room are
But
going to get annoyed at me.
yeah. See, how many times have we said these things about Dallo? Like, we need better. But
Yeah.
now he's like the de facto captain as well, isn't he? I think it's the Portuguese connection. So, I
Mhm.
don't think he's going anywhere.
Until Amram goes somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've absolutely seen the best of him. This is the best version of
Hmm.
Dallo that we're ever going to
Hmm.
see. In recent weeks, he's got a goal and an assist, and he's got a long throw that led to a goal. So
Yeah.
that's the best Dallo there is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any other gears to go through,
Hmm.
and he has all these brain dead moments. I mentioned the Brennan Johnson one. I mentioned what happened against Wolves. Do you remember the last game I was at last season against
Hmm.
Crystal Palace when we lost 2-0, two Matata
Yeah.
goals? I witnessed Diogo Dallo take a throw down the line, one bounce and out of play again.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? He just has
Hmm.
all these brain fart moments. I
Hmm.
just don't. He goes from the sublime to the ridiculous, but I'm
Yeah.
afraid his sublime
It's
moments
part of his game.
aren't as many as Nani's. Remember we used to say that
Yeah.
about Nani, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid
He
I'm
had more
afraid
sublime moments than Dallo, though.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
If you just have to look at the highlights reel,
Hmm.
and you'll see that. Um, yeah, I don't know what the hell he was doing for that Sa clearance off the line. You
Hmm.
have to attack the ball and make sure it goes in. Right, we're going to come to Le Mans now, and we saw the Wolves attacker following up when Le Mans made the
Hmm.
initial save. That's what you should do.
Yep.
So it was
Absolutely.
it was a brilliant save from the first effort, and then I was absolutely convinced that the rebound was going into the net. It looked like a certain tap in, and somehow he managed to scoop the ball away from the Wolves player who was look set to tap it in. Just at the last second, he just got a hand to it and swiped it out wide. I just thought that's fantastic reflexes there.
Hmm.
Yeah, an amazing double save. And I'll tell you what, he made a good save with his feet earlier in the game too, as he
Yeah.
often does. And
Yeah. De Gea-esque, isn't it? Every time he saves one with his foot, it just gives me flashbacks to days.
yeah, and the quick reactions for the double save too was De Gea-esque as
Yeah.
well. Um, but there's been certain people and people even not just online, people
Mm.
United fans I know in person have been saying to me they're not convinced by Lamens, and I'm absolutely baffled by that. I think he's had
Um,
a really good start to his United career.
Considering where he's come from, I'm very impressed with what he's done. Um, I'm not gonna over promote him. I do think it's just because we were severely lacking any sort of confidence, which is why we're quite happy with him. But yeah, I don't have too many complaints to be honest. Considering he's come from the Belgian league, he's 23. I thought he's taken to the Prem quite well. Later down the line, we might need an upgrade. I think he would be an elite backup choice. But for the time being, I think he's doing all right. I think he's doing all right. There's far
Um,
more other areas of concern, like the midfield and the wing backs,
Like
and now the
the
bloody
only
defense.
the only thing I think he's doing wrong, or the only things I think he's done wrong so far, is
Mm.
those free kicks that he let in. I think he
Mm,
should have done
mm-hmm.
against Bournemouth and Brighton. I think he should have done
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
But apart from that, he has saved us in a few games,
Mm-hmm.
and he does all the basics really well, which
Yeah.
and I know that shouldn't be something that we're praising in the Premier League, but for the last 2 seasons we've been lacking that.
Again, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's because we've just had such sheer incompetence that we're just happy to see the simple things done, and he's doing that. To be fair to him.
Yeah, and he does it with such ease.
Yeah.
Against Newcastle, when we're holding on for dear life, we needed him
Hmm.
to come out and
Yeah.
collect crosses and high balls and take the pressure off the defence, and he did exactly that on numerous occasions.
And I'll tell you what, Carl, I've got the Liverpool Leeds game on in the background, and they are a couple of minutes away from getting a point. Um, and if Leeds turn up like this at the weekend, I'm not looking forward to that game either.
Yeah, I was really hoping that tonight's game at Anfield would tire Leeds out.
Yeah,
Um, but if they're going to get a point, then
but
it,
yeah, if they can get stuck in and get a point at Anfield, then that doesn't bode well for us.
and recently they've beaten Chelsea at
Yeah,
Ellen Road. They've drew
and
with Liverpool 3-each at Ellen Road.
Calvert Lewin's been in the form of his life.
Yeah, 6 games in a row he scored until tonight.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
crazy.
But then there's one thing that does go away is that they only have 2.5 days to prepare for the United game.
Yeah, I don't know who put the fixture list together, but I mean, obviously, it benefits us, but it's terrible, isn't it? Like, I don't know who came up with that, but yeah, it's a ridiculous turnaround to expect their players to play, again at the weekend after a Thursday night fixture.
Although I
Mm-mm-mm.
remember the old fixture list, back in
Oh,
the
the
day.
Christmas one.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and it
There'll
was
be
much
two
better
games
than
in
that.
3 days.
There was used to play on Boxing Day and then play on the
Yep,
28th.
yep. Which was utterly ridiculous, but at least it was fair because that applied to everyone, right? This is for me is like a disadvantage because not everyone has to go through this.
Yeah, now it's unfair because the
Yeah,
pic there's pictures every day to suit the TV, the
yeah,
the
exactly,
TV
and it's
audience.
terrible. And then it is as much as we despise Leeds. I mean, they are somewhat in a relegation battle-ish, So these things can make a big difference the way you finish at the end of the season.
W- Well, I'm taking the luck wherever we can get it.
Hmm.
Um, it's probably the only thing we have going our way going into this match, to be honest.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
is is
but I don't know.
is
I
there?
think our manager's going to do a pretty good job of messing it up. To be fair,
Yeah, I think form, the injuries, and international duty, all of that's going against us going
yep,
into this match.
yep.
So, and Amram is always a disadvantage. So,
That's the thing. So yeah, fitness-wise, we should be better than them, but then Amarim kind of levels things up.
um, so just totally baffled by his decision making, not just with
Hmm.
the formation, the team selections, the positions in which he's playing certain players. When somebody
Yep,
has like Dorgu arguably had his best United game to date in that Newcastle match,
yep,
and then in the very next fixture he changes his position.
yep.
Well, I mean, it's like
And whilst we have Ahmad and Embuemo missing, and then Dorgu puts in a performance like that, you think, oh, excuse me, ka-ching, you know, like this is what I'm going to do now. But why? Why would you revert back? Why not see what you can do there? He might have been able to provide Sheshko with some better service as well.
yeah, he
Just
actually
total
provided.
lack of creativity.
Oh, it was shocking. It really
Yeah,
was.
yeah. For me, it highlighted how
J-
much we missed the
All
likes
that.
of Bruno and Mount as well. They're key.
Yeah, and it gives you an insight into what life would be like if we sell Bruno as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. If you don't bring in any replacements and he goes, then yeah, this is what we can look forward to. Mason Mount for me has been one of the players of our season. Maybe gone under the radar a bit, but he just puts in a lot of work.
yeah, and when he's not there, you notice the it's the
Definitely.
his intensity and his work rate is so
Hmm.
important as well. Did you notice he went off at half time against Newcastle,
Hmm.
and immediately it handed the initiative to Newcastle.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
began to dominate as soon as Mount went off, and I don't think that was a coincidence.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and that's not a slight on Jack Fletcher. it's very hard to go from Premier League Two to playing Premier League football.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. I thought the game kind of bypassed the kid, but I mean, given his age and everything, what did people expect?
So if it were me, um, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have made any of those subs that Amram
Yeah.
made against Wolves. What I would have done at half time was taken off Dallo and bring on Shea Lacey, play
Mm,
him on the left, and switch Dorgu to the right. That would have been my
mm,
change. But yeah, to be honest, I just don't agree with any of Amram
yeah.
subs. In every
Yeah,
game.
for me, I just think there's certain situations and certain teams where you just need to go to a flat back four. Just give us another attacking player. There's no need for this. There's no need to have an extra man in our own half
Yeah,
against teams that don't
sure,
really attack like that, you know?
sure. Even against 10 men, he kept three.
Yeah, it's insane. It makes no that one. I think that was the worst moment of the season for me. It pissed me off to no end. Um, he
Yeah,
should have been bringing on Mason Mount at sharpish as soon as they went down to 10. Like, what advantage do we have by having three centre backs against one striker when the opposition have gone to 4-4-1?
I think every manager in the world in that situation takes
Yeah,
off a defender and brings
yeah,
on a midfielder or a
yeah,
striker.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Except,
Because
except,
I was looking at our bench options, and we didn't really have an out and out striker. But yeah, I was thinking, yeah, Mason Mount. That's who I'd bring on right now. He can make a difference.
yeah,
He can support the striker.
yeah. You take off a defender and bring on an attacking
Yep,
player,
yep,
and I think
yep.
99 managers out of 100 would have done
Mm,
that, but not Amarim.
hmm. But not Amarim.
Um, I don't know. I don't understand what he's trying to do, and it's not as if like
Yeah.
he's making these selections and these subs and
Mm,
choosing these formations, and it's working. It's not working.
yeah.
I feel as if what we're saying is more likely to get results than what he's doing.
Hmm.
So I'm just, I'm patience. It really is running thin with this coach, and I seen it. I seen a lot more people online calling for his head after the Wolves game, and I can understand that
Mm,
because it was an embarrassing result and one of many, to be
yeah.
honest. Um, I know we didn't have. I know we're missing 8 players and a lot of creativity, but we still have to be beating Wolves at home. And I felt as if we didn't go for it enough. We weren't trying to win the game. There was no
Mm,
urgency. There was no patterns of play. It was constantly playing the ball around the back, sideways and backways stuff.
mm,
And then we seen there was certain things that really irritated me as well. For example, do you remember in the second half, Casemiro bursting over the halfway line, and then he
hmm.
didn't, rather than playing a through ball to Sesko, and Sesko would have been in because he would have had the pace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He just dawdled on the ball, and then it was
Yeah.
a Wolves player came in behind him and took it off him.
Mm,
You know, Casemiro thought he
yeah.
had all the time in the world just to decide what he was going to do. And
Mm,
I could see the Wolves player. I was behind that goal. I could see the Wolves player coming up behind him, and everybody was trying. There was thousands of fans shouting behind you, and he didn't see it coming. What? He
mm.
just dawdled.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
crazy.
I have to say the Casemiro Ugarte in midfield has to be the most.
It's diabolical. Diabolical combo that. Uh, I'll tell you what, I would not be
I know
surprised to
it's got to be
see
one of the most.
Ugarte depart this month. I think the transfer window opens today, doesn't it? Technically.
Yeah, but that obviously depends on us bringing somebody in.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I've been toying with the idea of, well, I've been realistically thinking, where could I see Ugarte end up? And there's one club and one manager who I think would suit Ugarte's game, and that is Diego Simeone. So could we work out some sort of deal that sees us get Conor Gallagher and they get Ugarte? I don't know, but I'm putting it out there.
I don't think he was even good enough to start for them, to
Oh,
be
he wouldn't
honest.
start for them, but he would be on the bench. But he's a manager who enjoys terrorism football, and that's what Ugarte's all about.
Well, the biggest link with Ugarte so far, according to the media,
Yeah.
is Galatasaray.
Ah, bloody hell.
Um,
Have they got? Actually, no, they have got money, haven't they? Because I know they signed Victor Osherman for a bucket load. If we could get some kind of obligation, but we're going to take a loss on him. We spent what 50 million on it. We'll be lucky to get half that back.
Like I seen one quote at 40 million euros. If we got that,
Yeah,
I'd
I'll
be
take that all
happy with
day.
that.
Hey, I'd be chuffed. If we could
Yeah.
recoup that
So
much, I'll take that as a win.
Casemiro and Ugarte was the word for that
Mm.
midfield.
Aye, aye,
It's
aye.
I know he hasn't got much of a choice at the minute,
Yeah,
but it's just so stifling that midfield.
yeah, yeah. It's diabolical, isn't it? There's just no creativity there at all.
And then he takes off a forward who scored a deflected
Hmm.
goal and brings on another midfielder who didn't create anything.
Hmm.
I just don't understand what he's trying to do there. You
Yeah.
know, do you know what that meant? Know what that meant? I think the best form of breaking down Wolves would have been getting crosses and crosses and crosses into the middle
Hmm.
and having
Hmm.
Xerxes and Shesko attacking those crosses. Now, by
Hmm.
taking
Hmm.
off Xerxes, that meant we had less players in Wolves'
Less
box.
support, less support.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's quite a physical presence as well, in it, Zerks. So I think he causes problems. Like even we were somewhat fortuitous with his finish because of the deflection, but even for him to get that turn and get the shot off, he can make things happen. I was very confused as to why he was taken off.
Yeah. In all my years of watching football,
Yeah,
I can't remember an occasion where someone who scored in the first
mm.
half was taken off at half time.
At half time.
Like,
Mm.
but Amram is just so unique, isn't he, as a coach?
Yeah,
You know, he does things that nobody else would do.
yep.
He's just an utterly baffling individual and an extremely stubborn one at that.
Hmm. Yeah, so the only thing
And
we can hope for is that that clearly I think we're stuck with him at least till the end of the season at the very least. So it'll be interesting to see if they give him anything this window.
I
Because
mean, they
being that
have
it's a
to.
specialist formation and that you need players that fit that nonsense that he's trying to do. So
Although what he did, I seen the Athletic reporting. I think it may have been prior to the Newcastle game. Was
mm,
and Amram said this himself, that he isn't going to get the money or the time to recruit players for his formation, so he's going to adapt. And those were his words. He did that for one game, and then
one game
reverted
and
back to the old formation
yeah, yeah, and it was fruitful. I mean, it wasn't without discomfort.
problems.
We somewhat yeah, we hung on, but we could see something there. And I was like, ah, and then I was I was actually somewhat relieved and excited when I saw the team sheet. The BBC reported it against Wolves as a 4-2-3-1. I was like, ah, here we go. It's taken 13 months, but the penny's finally dropped. We've gone to a back four. Tune in 2 minutes into the game, and I'm like, well, that was bollocks. I'm seeing three
Yeah,
at the back. I'm seeing Dorgu at left wing back. I was like, oh no.
yeah. I was looking out for myself, watching
Yeah.
from the upper tier. I was
Hmm.
having a look at the shape, and it was obvious to me that it was a back three. And
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
times where they moved into a back four
Hmm.
occasionally, and Amram does like to keep it fluid, but most of the
Yeah.
time it was a back three with wing
It
backs,
was
and that
yeah, it
was
was about three,
enormously
wasn't it? Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm, yeah, against
Against the
Newcastle,
side
it's
who
very
scored against the side who scored the least amount of goals in the league.
yeah, and and they had 12 straight defeats coming into that game as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they conceded the most goals in the league and they've scored the least. Why? Why does anybody
Yeah.
need three defenders against that?
Mm. But you know what? He also, as we said earlier, he also played three defenders against 10 men Everton,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
That was
and
diabolical. That.
so I tell you what, these things aren't a one-off. This is who
No,
he
no,
is,
it's part. Yeah, this is part of his. His brand. This is what he's about.
and to me, it's not going to be a winning formula for Manchester United. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're slow walking towards the inevitable.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't
such a
think he
weird
beat.
season as well, though, isn't it? Like, because when you look at the table, like we're there on the cusp all the time.
Mm. But also, there are a lot of teams behind us who are close by.
Yep.
So at some point, these teams are going to take over us.
Oh,
If
most
we,
definitely. Like, honestly, all in all, the way the season's played out, we should be comfortably in that top four, and we're not.
yeah, even if we just won a couple of those games that we drew,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
um, yeah. So I don't know. Just not many wins at the moment. Either it's
Nope.
the exciting draw against Bournemouth or a
Mm,
drab draw against Wolves,
yeah.
and or embarrassing defeat to 10 men Everton or embarrassing draw with
Hmm.
Wolves, the bottom team. There's very few games that are filling you full of hope at the minute. Um, every time, Amram just seems to be. He's got back-to-back wins once. Then
Yeah, pretty
that's
much.
it. I remember it took him nearly a year to get that. He just doesn't seem to be able to follow up a win with another win. I tell you what, the
Yep.
Newcastle fixture, I enjoyed the result because it was against a Champions League team, and even though the second half was horrendous,
Yeah.
it was a good result against a good team. A team that we haven't been beaten much in recent years,
Hmm.
and I was prepared to accept that second half against a quality opponent. But I wanted to go out there and beat Wolves comfortably, and obviously we didn't do it.
Absolutely.
But I
Absolutely.
have to say, what happened against Newcastle was partly down to Amram as well,
Hmm.
because the first half was really good. We probably should have been more than 1-0 up.
Yep.
The amount change was enforced. Mount wanted to play on, as he says, but he
Hmm.
wasn't. He wasn't prepared to risk him. So I understand that substitution. Um, but then with every sub, the team got worse and worse, and then it got so farcical. He was bringing on Fredrickson and Malacia. What
Ah,
the hell
yeah.
was that all about?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And then every time I see Fredrickson now, I just think back to Grimsby. So
Yeah,
yeah, I just have a
he hadn't.
stroke.
Fredrickson hadn't played since the Grimsby match, and
Yeah.
Malacia hadn't played since last January.
Yeah,
Where
it's
the hell
insane,
did
isn't
that
it?
come
Yeah.
from?
And also, Casemiro looked befuddled as well when he went off. And I was thinking, in
That
a game like this, like I understand, his legs go between the 60th and 70th minute, but to take off experience against Newcastle, I thought was insane.
Yeah, he was like
Yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. It's
I
crazy.
I honestly think that was the worst sub of the whole match.
Yeah.
Lenny Yaro for Casemiro,
Hmm.
and that meant that we were just going to defend for the last
Yep.
30 minutes,
Yep.
and I have to, and it was hellish to watch, hellish,
Hmm. Yeah, it was
because it
proper
just.
nerve wracking stuff, wasn't it? He somehow managed to get a clean sheet out of it.
Do you know what? You know, given what's happened before the Newcastle game and what's happened after it,
Hmm.
Amram just got lucky that night.
Yeah.
There was no skill involved in him getting that result. It was just luck.
Hmm.
That Newcastle didn't finish their chances, and that we made a few good defensive blocks and so on. The substitutions were diabolical again. Even it's amazing. Even with a manager who's very little to work with in terms of his bench, he still manages to make baffling substitutions that no one can
Hmm.
understand. No one can understand.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but then this is this is who he is. If we go back to the Europa League final, it was the same. It took him 70 minutes to make a change when it was clear that we were not going to break Spurs down with their starting 11.
Hmm.
And Garnacho comes on after 70 minutes and he nearly scores. After about 75 minutes, Garnacho should have come on half time in that game. But that was probably a personal reason why he probably didn't bring him on earlier. But forget about that. It's about winning the final and getting into Europe the next season. But he was just so hesitant and stubborn with the subs again.
Hmm.
You know, you know, he felt as if that we'd started the second half well against Tottenham in that final, and he wanted to keep the players on the pitch to see how it went. When me and everyone around me were saying, look, we are not breaking the Spurs team down with our current lineup. You know,
Hmm.
unfortunately, Mason Mount didn't have a good game in that final, and I thought Garnacho had to come on much earlier. So, it ju- so, so what I'm trying to say is, it's not as if it's only happened against Wolves or Bournemouth or Newcastle that Amram's inability to affect the game from the bench has come up. This has been going on his whole United career,
Definitely, it's just who he is.
and it's not
This is
going to.
what he
And for
does.
me, it's not going to change. Do you know what?
No,
Do you know how little faith I have in him? Do you see? Even if we had a bench, we had a starting 11 that was as good as Arsenal's, and a bench that is as good as Arsenal's. I still think he would make baffling substitutions to the detriment of the team.
I mean, like for like, there'll probably be better quality coming off the bench, but you're right. He would still make the same kind of,
Yet what he would do is would be 1-1, and he'd bring off an attacker and bring on a defender. That's what he'll
yeah,
do. That's just what he
yeah,
does.
and just
What
make
is?
like for like subs, keep the same formation,
Yeah. Oh, that is.
irrespective of what's happening.
He has no plan B, does he?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not going to waste my time with player ratings, because to be
Mm.
honest, most of them are fives,
Yeah,
and
honestly, the
I'll
only
give,
standout for me is Aiden Heaven.
yeah, I give Heaven a 7, and I'll give the goalkeeper an
Yeah,
8, because
yeah,
you know honestly, if we had lost that game, Amram would have
yeah.
deserved the sack.
Hmm. I'll tell
And
you what. We were needlessly under pressure as well, even to concede that corner that which led to the goal. That cross never should have come in. Dorgu never should have been in that position where he felt the need to put it out for a corner. And then from the corner, who's picking the guy up? I mean, the closest one that runs to him eventually is Dorgu, but where are the proper defenders at? No one's picking him up.
yeah, mm, I think we lack a presence back there without Delict
Hmm.
and Maguire.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We're missing a leader in defence.
An
Someone who's a
organizer, yeah.
natural centre back as well. So
Mm.
I know Shaw's done a decent job, but yeah, we need a proper leader back there, a proper
And
centre half.
yep, not just a lack of presence, but lack of height as well.
Yeah, yeah, that as well. Yeah, yeah, physically as well. Yeah, you need a strong body in there, and
Yeah.
I think that's also why Lenny's been struggling as well. I think he needs that senior centre back next to him.
Mm. Yeah, he absolutely does. The worst possible combination in defence, and we've seen it
Yeah,
lately, is Yarrow and Heaven, two kids.
yeah, 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 yeah. Two kids, and then you've got a makeshift centre back in Luke Shaw. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
not great.
Shaw can have good games and he can have stinkers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't know what you're going to get from him.
Hmm.
And yeah, so it's just it's the result I feared, and it actually happened.
Mm.
It's and Amram is very much partly to blame for that, with his reverting back to three at the back, the selection, the substitution of Xerxes for Fletcher, and obviously Dorgu not playing right wing,
Yeah.
considering how he had played in the previous match. So all those factors led to us, getting
Hmm.
drawing with the bottom team.
And the next two games are
Yeah,
really important because the two after that, uh, so we've
yeah,
got
I
Leeds,
know.
we've got Leeds followed by Burnley, but then after that there's an FA Cup tie with Brighton, but the
That's
two league
tough.
games after that are Man City and Arsenal back to back
Yeah,
to round off our
yeah,
January. So yeah,
yeah.
it'll be a miracle to get anything out of those two games, right?
On the current form of those two
Yeah,
teams, yeah.
yeah, because
Um,
they seem to be the two that started to distance themselves from everyone else.
mm, yeah, we need to be picking up maximum against Leeds and Burnley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you know what? A chaotic game against Leeds, where they're
Hmm.
coming at us, might suit us. We
Yeah,
we
yeah.
thri- we thrive on chaos.
Yeah, they've got one win and four draws in their last five.
Yeah,
But that's also quite an impressive run of undefeated.
yeah. Do you know what? I think your money has to be on a draw here in
Yeah,
that fixture. Which obviously no good to us. No good to us,
it's no
obviously.
good to us.
But if
We
you're
need
a
all
betting man,
three. Yeah, we need all three. And then Burnley as well. Burnley, yeah, they've picked up two draws in the last three games. So again, you can't think that they're down and out. They're fighting for their lives down at the bottom there. It's going to be a
yeah.
hard.
My prediction is that
Yeah,
the Leeds game will be chaotic.
yeah, yeah,
Goes at both
yeah.
ends.
That might be a bit like the Bournemouth game. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because
Yeah,
of it's one of those.
where a team that comes at us
Hmm.
suits us because it gives us more space in behind
Yeah,
to score goals on the counter. However, I think Burnley will be different. I think it'll be more like the Wolves game. It'll be
yeah,
boring,
yeah. All
and
boring stuff. That. Yeah.
we might draw 1-1 or scrape it 1-0 or something like
Hmm.
that. That's usually how we win at Burnley anyway, even in any
Yeah.
season. And then, as you say, any point that we get against Arsenal or City is a
Hmm.
bonus.
Absolutely. Because at this moment in time, if you ask me, I think we're going to lose both of those.
Yeah, in current form, yeah.
Mm.
Man City are just
When does Mbeumo get back? I think the maximum is what, January 20th or something, 21st. Is that when Afcon concludes?
yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Mbeumo is
I
the kind
think
of player that you need for those kind of games.
I think that we'll have all our players back for Arsenal, but
Right. Okay.
what
Yeah. It might
happens?
be too soon for City.
Ci-
Yeah.
City will depend on who gets to the final
Who gets?
of AFCON.
Yeah. Because ideally, in an ideal world, yeah, I'd like to have Mbeumo and Ahmad back home for these
Yeah,
fixtures.
I think the home game against City is probably more winnable than the
Hmm.
away game against Arsenal.
Mm,
I would say, in my opinion. So
yeah.
ideally, you want all your best players against City because that's the game that we could get something from because we're
Yeah,
at
it's
home.
the early kickoff as well. It's the 12:30 kickoff, that one against City.
Mm, yeah, I would love to get one over on them.
Hmm.
I'm sick of them. We we we, we embarrassed ourselves at the Etihad
Yep.
in September. But
Yep.
last season we beat them at the Etihad. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
It's
we
just a
haven't
very
beaten them.
strange feeling playing them and being the underdogs.
Mm, yeah.
It's getting to the point now
Um,
where kids don't remember a time where City were rubbish.
yeah. And we haven't finished above them since we last won the league.
Yeah.
Is an amazing stat that.
2013. That's disgusting.
Mhm. So in
Horrendous.
every season we finish second, they finish first.
Wow.
So um,
Yeah.
yeah, we finished above Liverpool about 3 or 4 times in that period,
Hmm.
but not City.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they're those two teams are in red hot form at the moment, and
Hmm.
do you know what? As a neutral, I'm looking forward to the City Arsenal clash in the second half of the season.
That's going to be a big decider, that one, of where the title's headed this season.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when it is. If it's closer to the end of the season, then it's going to be even more
Mm.
important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's usually when Arsenal sort of go off the boil, isn't it? And business end of the season where Pep's teams come alive.
I tell you what, I thought Villa, what they won 12 games in a row or something, and then
Yeah. Oh
Arsenal
yeah, dismantled them.
absolutely,
Yeah, the signs were there though, because even last week and the game before Arsenal, they looked terrible, and they were fortuitous to win. I think it was
even
at
against
Chelsea,
us,
wasn't
they were second best
it? Yeah. Again, we just got caught out by the
against
same
us.
thing twice, and then the first goal was a worldie. I can't lie. Shout out to Morgan Rogers. It was unfortunate. It was against us, but what a strike! What a player!
Yeah, but Lenny Yaro has to do better,
He's got to do
and
better.
Dallo as well.
But the second one, yeah, it's criminal because at halftime I'm thinking, yeah, surely he's gonna have to talk to Lenny because he's been getting run ragged. It reminded me of last season against Southampton. when he came up against that player called Sulemana. You remember that? He was just getting
Yeah, I
ran
do.
all
Yeah,
over the place. Yeah,
we
yeah,
were. That was nearly another embarrassing night,
yeah.
losing to the bottom team at Old Trafford. Only
Hmm.
Ahmad got a hat trick in the last 5 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. We were still 1-0 down in the 80th minute, I think,
Yeah.
against the bottom team. You know, you know. Amram, even in the games that he has won, and there's been very few of them, he's got lucky in some of them.
Mm.
They've not been impressive performances. You know, Newcastle is about as lucky as it gets. How we got the 3 points in that game, I'll never know, because it was only our second clean sheet of the season. So n- there's probably not a United fan in the world who thought we'd hold on in that game, but somehow we did. Um, do you know what? Do you know what's so strange? I think someone made a valid point. If we'd have drawn against Newcastle and beat Wolves, we'd be feeling a lot better right now. Isn't it weird? Even though that's the same amount of
Yeah,
points.
yeah, yeah. It's true.
I suppose the most recent result is always how you feel.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, that's how it works football. So side point, the Arsenal City match is the 18th of April, so it is quite close to the end of the
Oh,
season. So,
okay. Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, yeah. If it stays
yeah,
like this,
and I
that
tell you
yeah.
what, do you know what? This is a sort of United point, because we're
Mm.
going to mention former United players here. Arsenal's second goal, very, very unsurprising to see Sancho getting caught on the ball, a- and then Lindelof being passive
Uh-huh.
and taking up the wrong position.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
unsurprising for the second and the fourth goal.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I suppose when you factor in that Sancho and Lindelof started that game, it's no
Hmm.
surprise that Arsenal hammered them.
Yeah. I was actually quite surprised in the summer that Lindelof decided to stay in the Premier League. I thought he might go abroad somewhere where it's less physical. The game's a bit, more to his pace.
Maybe, but perhaps his family are settled in the north of England, and he
Yeah, I think
didn't.
that's probably right. He's been here since what 2016,
There's a
17.
chance that by signing for Villa, he wouldn't have needed to move house or anything.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there is a chance of that. It's probably that because otherwise, in terms of his game, surely he would have been better off in Serie A or La Liga.
100%, yeah. La Liga, he's got La Liga written all over him, like, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So Sancho loses the ball in the middle of the field. Then when the ball makes its way to the final third, L- Lindelof, rather than coming towards the centre to close down the player he's about to shoot, he just he's sort of got his eye on the right winger, but he's already
Yeah,
been picked up by the left back. So I
yeah,
don't know what he's doing. He has to come inside and try to block the shot, but he's far too late in making
yeah,
that
yeah.
decision.
It's
And
very
then
passive.
for the fourth goal, it was classic Lindelof, hands
Hmm.
behind his back, not making
Hmm.
himself big, and just allowing the guy Jesus to curl it into the corner. And tell you what, if Jesus has got a lot more quality than Yoker is. If they
Oh
can keep
yeah,
him fit to the end of the
yeah.
season, it gives them a big chance.
Yeah, that's the issue with the Jesus, isn't it? Like on his day, he's actually a very useful player to have in your squad, versatile as well. Yok just looks out of it, to be honest. I think
We
we missed
dodged
the
the
ball.
bullet there, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah. Dodged the bullet there. That one. I don't
Was
think
it,
he's suited to that team either. I don't think he's as bad as like the numbers suggest. But yeah, I don't think he's suited to that Arsenal team at all. But the Premier League as well, I think, is a bit of a step too far for him.
and yes, Shesko hasn't scored many goals, but you can see there's a footballer in there. But
Yeah.
he's got good feet, and
Hmm.
he's good at holding the ball up and winning
Yeah.
flick-ons. But I have to say that Gyökeres, there's no football about that guy. He doesn't have
No,
anything.
no, because what he used to do as well was run the channels and out muscle people. But when you get to the Premier League, you can't really out muscle our defenders like you can in Portugal. Because
No,
honestly, outside of the top three teams in Portugal, the rest of that league, it's Championship and League One level.
yeah. Yeah, Gyökeres is certainly not the best from a technical point of view. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. With Sheshko as well, I think he needs to adapt to the speed of our game
S-
because yeah, he has got good feet, and I see him
mhm.
trying to do little things that he used to do in Germany, but he doesn't have that extra second here in our league like he does
Yeah,
over there.
yeah, that's an important point. It's
Yeah.
the speed and the intensity of the Premier League is so
Mhm.
different,
Mhm.
and he has to
Yeah,
get
because I
used to
see
it.
what he's trying to do. Because yeah, I've seen him do it for Leipzig, but with totally different results. Because over there in Germany, he can actually get past the players, but here
I,
he's
th-
got to try and work on that.
I think the best example is the chance against Tottenham where he got injured. He
Mhm.
thought he was clean through and all the time in the world. He
Yeah.
didn't know that Mickey van
Yep.
der Ven was coming up
Yep.
behind him.
Was right there. Yeah. 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 That's a video tape that they need to play back to him to analyze and study on how he can, adjust his decision making.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still, the jury's still out. I'm still
Mhm.
hopeful that he can turn things around. But
It's his first season though, isn't it? So it's always going to take a bit of time to settle. I
but
don't think
I'm
he's
worried
helped by
that
this manager either.
no one is.
Yeah.
But I am worried about the pressure of being Man United's number 9 and the
Mhm.
criticism that's already coming his way. I'm hoping that doesn't get on top of him. And
Yeah.
the way it did with Hoyland and just ruined
Mhm.
the guy. He
Yeah.
would. There's been slight links with Matata again, and
Ah, jeez.
if we had him, I know not every fan is in favour of that, but if we had him or another senior striker, it would really benefit Cesco to someone to take the pressure
Yeah.
off him.
Yeah. 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 Not him
What?
though. I'm not sold on Mateta, especially the kind of fees they've been talking about as well. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I wouldn't be paying big money for him, especially
Yeah.
was he 29 now.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanna come on to uh, a big midfield link for January window. Now we know
Mm.
that Wharton and Anderson is not realistic in January. I don't think
Mhm.
either of those. And I tell you what, in terms of Anderson, um, Man City are confident that they're going to get him, and
Are
they've
they?
already
Oh, flip it
they've
out.
al- they've already got Semenyo over us. So why not hit
I'm not
Anderson as
too
well?
fussed about Semenyo, to be honest. I think that would have pissed me off because if we spent 65 million and we played him at left wing back, that would have annoyed me. And if he were to take up one of the 10 positions, then does that mean Cunha goes up top?
I know,
Again,
but
it's just a mismatch for me.
I think Amram. Well, a brief came from the club that
Yeah,
if they signed Semenyo,
yeah, he
that
wouldn't be a
they
wing
won't
back.
that they wouldn't be a wing back and they would
Yeah.
change the system to accommodate him. But
Is he the kind of
obviously,
player that you just tear up the whole formation for? I don't know, man. I'm not too fussed about Semenyo, if I'm being honest. But the
well,
Elliot
it doesn't
Anderson
matter
one will
anyway.
sting.
It doesn't matter anyway. He's
Yeah,
not coming to United.
yeah, yeah. But the Elliot Anderson one will sting if we miss out on him. I think that is a player that will be very, very useful for us. And he's what, 22, plenty of time to grow as well. It would have been a tidy addition.
Mm, Yeah, the thing is, we have to get into Europe. Otherwise, we're just going to become an unattractive proposition for players without
Yeah,
quality.
yeah, definitely. Um,
And Man City are doing it again, where
yeah.
they already have before they even sign Semenyo, they already have
Hmm.
three wide players who are not getting
Hmm.
any minutes at all.
Yeah.
Mamouche,
Yep.
Oscar Bob,
And you know what? No
and
one's talking about
somebody
Omar
else.
Mamouche, you know?
Yeah,
No one's talking about Omar Mamouche. They spent what, like 75 million on that guy, and it just
yeah.
goes under the radar.
But people say that, but when Man City are first or second in the league, you're not going to get
Yeah,
criticised that much.
yeah,
Unfortunately
yeah.
for
That's
us,
the thing. Yeah.
when we make transfer mistakes,
Hmm.
we end up in mid-table or below
It's
that, and
highlighted. Yeah, yeah.
you know, um, yeah. To me, Man City buy players to stop them going elsewhere. There's
Mm.
definitely an element of that going on. Um, but yeah, a realistic January option is James Garner, and that's been talked about a lot in recent weeks.
His
Um,
contract's up as well at the end of the season, isn't it?
it is, um,
Yeah, yeah,
and in and just on that, in his most recent game for Everton
yeah.
against Forest, he was man of the match, and not only that,
Hmm.
he scored the opener. But I thought the most impressive thing was his assist for Barry's goal. That was
Hmm.
quality. That assist.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see it? Did you
That was
see
a,
it?
yeah, yeah. I saw that. It was a nice finish as well from Barry. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's how Garner picked up the ball in
Hmm.
midfield, took it past his man with ease,
Yep.
and then the ball that he played to Barry was exquisite.
Hmm.
Uh, and it wasn't just one of those. It wasn't one of those assists where you knock it a 5 yard pass to someone who scores a screamer. That was an assist. That goal was all about the assist.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was very impressed with that. And you know what? He's a tenacious player. He's a hard working player, and he's got quality. He's good at set pieces. So I think we need to sign an Anderson or a Wharton to improve our starting 11 in midfield. But I feel as if Garner is one of those players that would fill out our squad a bit more. This is what we need.
Oh, definitely. Squad depth is so important, and he's one of our own as well. So why not take a punt? We can bring him home.
Yeah, we let him go for nothing. Basically,
Hmm.
was it 9 million or something? No, I'm not
Yeah,
including that.
yeah, yeah. And then there was some add-ons and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't great.
And I suppose it was Ten Hag who didn't give him a proper chance.
Hmm.
So it's not as if he can hold a grudge against the club. Um, it was Ten Hag's decision, so it's a different manager now, and so
Yeah.
he might be willing to come back for that reason. So yeah, he seems like a get. He may not be everyone's favorite
Hmm.
midfield option, but he's a gettable one in January,
No,
and I think
definitely.
he's
I've
a
also
good
heard
player.
some rumors about Ruben Neves as well, because his contract's up at the end of the season. So there's rumors
Mm,
circulating that he might be available on a cut price deal. And then also, I think people are putting two and two together because of his Portuguese background.
mm. My concern with that is that he turns 29 soon. I think in March.
Yeah,
Um, is that the
yeah, it
sort of
would
age
be
bracket you want to be saying?
yeah, it would be very dependent on price and that, wouldn't it? I mean, I wouldn't mind taking him for free in the summer, to be honest. If we're getting rid of Cass and
Yeah,
Ugarte,
we
I
could
would
take.
assume is leaving.
Yeah, we could take him on a free.
Yeah.
That'd be a good deal. I tell you
Hmm.
what, and Garner, if we're getting him on a free, absolutely taking that all day long.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
need someone now, to be honest.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. Yeah.
because I gotta say that Ugarte and Casemiro is the most depressing midfield
Hmm.
combination possible.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't think I'm going to get it in Jan, but I'd really like a
and
wing back
how
as well.
unfortunate is it that when Bruno gets injured, well, no, forget wing backs. I don't want that formation anymore. Fuck off with that formation. I want the proper.
But unfortunately, he's not going to change it, so we're going to need a competent wing back.
I want to see a 4-2-3-1.
Listen, ideally, I'd
Uh,
love to go back to a flat back four, but he's not going to do that, is he?
well, he did it for one game, so there's hope.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, yeah, I, I think that there are January links to Ruben Neves, Conor Gallagher, and
Yeah.
James Garner. They're realistic options. I think our number
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
target, Anderson, and our number two target, Wharton, I
Mm.
don't think they are realistic for January.
For Jan.
S-
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we need to make a signing in that area. As I was going to say there, how
Mm.
unlucky is it that Bruno gets injured for basically the first time in his
Yeah.
United career?
Yeah.
Manu is
Mm.
also
Yeah.
injured.
Yeah. Yeah. Just can't catch a break.
Yeah, neither us or him.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Bruno or Manu, without a doubt, would have been starting at the minute and
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
able to prove to Amram what he can do. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do
Yeah, because
think
when
that
he's
he is
come on, when he
closer.
yeah, because when he come on as a sub in the last couple of weeks, I've been impressed. He's been doing, just little nice, simple one-two touch passing and that. I
Yeah,
thought
when he came on
he's
against
made
Bournemouth,
himself
he was
useful.
very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought he's made himself
Um,
useful.
I think that he is close to a comeback, though, based on what we're hearing. We'll
Hmm.
see who's available for the Leeds game. Maguire's apparently close to a comeback,
Mm.
so potentially we could have Manu and Maguire against Leeds. That would be
Yeah.
a a boost. Um, Bruno is apparently itching to start training again, but the manager is telling him
Mm.
no, because and
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah,
you
you
can
don't want to
understand
take
that
any
because it
risks.
can make his injury
Yeah,
worse.
exactly. You don't want to take any risks because if he's out for longer, then that's detrimental to us.
Yeah, but I think for sure we'll see Bruno against Manchester City. I bet
Yeah.
you he comes back for that game.
Mm.
So we shall wrap it up there for today, and hopefully United get the points against Leeds and Burnley. It needs to be 6 points, given that we've got the two most difficult games of the season afterwards. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, Brighton in the FA Cup is a horrible draw as well. To be honest,
That yeah, in the third round could be a third round exit.
yeah. So please, everybody, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the podcast, and get more of your thoughts in. And I shall see everybody after the Leeds. And thanks as always, Brush, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. My pleasure. Take care, all, and happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.